Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for some clan tech shenanigans. And welcome to a Sunday stream. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever time it is, whatever day it is. I hope that the weekend has been treating you well. And thanks for joining me out here on a Sunday. Always glad to see you. Glad to have another week under my belt. And glad to see all of you guys as well. Thanks for hanging out with us again for some more hot mech on mech action as we get into some more BTA today on the stream again with our continuing campaign. And chats, let me tell you, this week we got some news. So I might not have mentioned it. I'm not 100% sure. I might have mentioned that some new managers started at my job a couple of weeks back, and slowly over the past few weeks since I went on PTO, because they started when I was on PTO, like 3 or 4 weeks ago, whenever it was. But these new guys, having worked with them now, they're starting to grow on me, chat. They're starting to grow on me. Like they kind of already realized that the place was bullshit, like I did when I first got there, but they are more like me than I realized, in that they are actually trying to do good and improve things, and like it gives me hope for the future. It gives me hope for the future, chat. Not don't get me wrong, I still hate my job. And I'm still looking for work elsewhere. But at the same time, it makes me feel like at least I'm not going to be the only competent adult on the staff. And it has had the knock-on effect of now making the old hands, that is, the people who were there before me, the ones who like had tenure and like they used to outnumber me. In other words, their whole like I don't give a shit and I'm just gonna do whatever I want and fuck you and everybody else thing, like that mentality was okay because like the people that fought that way outnumbered me. But now with these 2 new managers and 2 old managers both being gone now, the odds have flipped now. So there are more people that actually want to do the right thing than there are people that are just coming in and collecting a paycheck. And that's good, because it means, well, it means that I won't be alone in the struggle, I guess. Misery loves company, but they're still a long way from being competent, but I am doing my best to train them. At least train them properly so that they understand what they're dealing with and the best ways to do what they're trying to do. So I hope that it's a good omen for the future. It has certainly made me less stressed out these past couple of weeks, because I actually have people that I can rely on to get shit done instead of basically just having to do everything myself. And that alone has been a huge, huge deal for me. So things are looking up, maybe, at least a little bit, and maybe only temporarily, but I'll take it. I'll take what I can get. Aside from that, chat, we got other big news, of course. For those of you that were not paying attention to Menace, that being the new game coming from the developers of Battle Brothers, Menace not only released a demo this week for their game, but they also announced what I hope will be a release date that doesn't change, which I think was February of next year. So Today we're in October, so we're looking at like maybe 4 months until Menace releases officially. So definitely excited about that. For those that did not play Battle Brothers, have no idea what it is, outstanding roguelike type of game. And I've said in other places as well, I like the look of Menace so far from what I've seen of the demo. I personally did not play it. I just watched some other people play it. But the thing that excites me the most, and I know I'm going to be in the minority here, most people are just like, oh, space future, turn-based combat, hooray, we're going to pew-pew the bad guys. Like, that's cool and everything. That's cool and everything, but the thing that excites me about Menace is that it's a more linear game. And to me, one of the most underrated things about Battle Brothers, one of the things that I hardly ever hear people talk about, is the writing in that game. Now, you don't really notice the writing that much in Battle Brothers once you get to a certain point. Like, once you've put in a certain number of hours in Battle Brothers, the writing just kind of fades to the background. And that's a failing of the roguelike genre, because you see the same events over and over and over again, but like the prose and the writing in Battle Brothers is actually really, really fucking good. And because Menace is supposed to be more linear, I'm hoping that that will give them an opportunity to kind of stretch their legs a little bit narratively and like actually do some honest to God writing instead of just like procedural episodic writing. I hope. Again, I know that may be a hot take. People may hear that and be like, "Oh, that's a weird thing to be excited about." But look, we don't have enough good writing in games anymore. And the fact that fucking remakes are blowing new IPs out of the water just based on writing and gameplay alone, I think bears that out. I mean, we are, at least as far as video games, but I would argue for entertainment in general, we are in a drought as far as writing is concerned. Like, there just aren't good fucking stories anymore. And so I am always excited to see any good team of writers get to do what they want to do. Expedition 33. Again, don't get me wrong, Bob. Like, I'm not saying every game is shit and all writing is bad. I'm just saying, like, the vast majority of stuff that is being churned out, whether we're talking about video games, movies, television, whatever, the writing is just shit. It's amateur. It's not good. Now, again, there are some standouts. Expedition 33 is a great example of that. But those are the exception rather than the rule. Generally speaking, entertainment writing has been on a downward trend over the last 10 or 15 years. And I'm excited anytime a good writer or a good writing team gets a chance to do what they want to do. So we will see what happens, chat. We will see what happens. I'm looking forward to Menace regardless. Again, the gameplay looks looks like a lot of fun. And again, I know that the Hooded Horse folks are solid when it comes to their mechanics. Battle Brothers is a little bit of a pain in the ass because of all the RNG. But you have, like, and I said this when we played Battle Brothers, you have to accept that the dice are rigged against you. It is frustrating sometimes, but the game is engineered that way on purpose in order to make it challenging. You either accept that going in, or you don't, and then you rage against the game, even though, like, you literally, like, if you bought the game, the implicit understanding is that you are playing a game that wants to fuck you over. So, like, if you're raging against Battle Brothers, that's you fundamentally misunderstanding what the point of Battle Brothers is. But anyway, chat, that's enough about that. That's enough about that. With that being said, I honestly don't have a whole lot of other news to talk about. Yeah, did I miss anything, chat? Like, did I forget any other? I think the EA thing. Good God, I forgot. So, for those of you that don't know, EA has finally secured an agreement that is that is going to make them no longer a publicly traded company, no longer a investor backed company, or at least not in the same way that a American corporation is. I don't know a lot of the specifics personally because I haven't really looked into it. But apparently they're being bought out by some Saudi firm that plans to incorporate them into I don't like I my understanding is that there's a department in Saudi Arabia that's in charge of like providing money and profit for the citizens of the country, or like diversifying the portfolio of the investments of the country. And so that's why they're buying EA. And of course, EA, being completely morally bankrupt, is absolutely going to sell because they just want money. And this is an excuse for them to make a shitload of money that they will then use to probably buy another game studio. And then I have a feeling this is going to be a trend of like, this is what we're going to see from the games industry over the next 5 to 10 years, is all of the big corporations now trying to bail out because the ship is sinking. The ship is sinking. Like the gaming gravy train is coming to a stop. You have companies unionizing. You have standards and practices finally being applied to these corporations after decades of basically zero regulation from the government. So, like, the gravy train is coming to an end. And all of these vultures, these fucking ghouls in the C-suite, are looking for a way to get out. And I think that this, like, Saudi investment scheme is gonna be that out. It's gonna be the out that all of these corpos have been looking for 5+ years. So I would not be surprised if we see a lot more buyouts similar to what's going on with EA in the very near future. We already know that Ubisoft has been talking about selling their share of the stock, and the C-suite talking about getting out of games development. So I wouldn't be surprised if Ubisoft is next on the list, especially, like, again, corpos have no imagination. They're not creative at all. They do not understand the concept of original ideas. They only know repeat and iterate. That is it. So now that somebody has lucked into a successful way out of the video game industry, I expect every single dead-eyed fucking CEO to follow suit. Because now the successful formula has been established, they're not going to try to fix it. They're not going to try to come up with their own idea. They're just going to follow that. They're going to jump on the coattails and ride it to money, because that's what they do. So again, expect in the very near future to see more of what we're seeing from EA. Whether or not that ultimately ends up being a good thing for the games industry remains to be seen. Maybe a little financial freedom will be good for things. Maybe not. Again, I will wait to pass judgment until I have seen what happens. Yeah. Or, as a friend of mine once said, you don't dig around in the roots of a tree to determine whether or not it's a good tree. You just sample the fruit. Yeah. So, yeah, I could complain that it's a Saudi prince buying out EA. Yeah, I could complain about human rights violations in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Yeah, I could complain that it's taking what is ostensibly an American corporation and exporting it overseas. I could complain about a lot of things. But I don't know what form this is going to take yet, and until I start to see some results, I'm not going to say anything good or bad about it. I will simply say change is good and healthy for any industry, but that does not mean that all change is good. So in a year or two, once we start to see some of the downstream effects of this buyout, I may have different opinions than I do today. But for right now, I'm withholding judgment. Aside from that, of course, I guess somebody had mentioned, and I personally don't have a horse in this race, but surprise, surprise, it turns out that, like we've been saying for, oh, I don't know, basically ever since it was a thing, turns out Game Pass is not, in fact, good for Microsoft and is not, in fact, good for the developers of the games that end up on Game Pass. And Microsoft is finally admitting that this was just another ploy in their long, sad history of trying to buy a monopoly on the video games industry. And predictably, it did not work out. And now they're doing exactly what every other subscription and streaming service does, which is shitifying their service by introducing new tiers, price hikes, and our favorite introduction to every fucking subscription service, ads for regular users. Boy, oh boy, aren't we glad that ads are just every fucking where. So yeah, that's the big news about Game Pass. Is Game Pass is getting tiers. The price is going up across the board. And if you're at the lowest tier, you get bombarded with ads. Hooray! I bet all those people that 5 years ago were saying that Game Pass is the future are now regretting that statement because they weren't wrong. But unfortunately, a finger or two curled on the monkey's paw when they said that. So, Game Pass is, in fact, the future. But as with everything else, the future turns out to be less Star Trek and more Terminator when it's all said and done. Oh, yeah, Swiftdraw also brought up the data leak, which I got a little heated on the Discord, but apparently Discord had a data leak, and depending on how lazy you are, I'm trying to be charitable. I'm trying not to insult people, but depending on how lazy you are, you may or may not have had your personal information compromised, your location compromised, face data if you were dumb enough to give that to Discord, and also potentially banking and payment information, once again, if you were stupid enough to give that to Discord. As I said in the Discord, this is a perfect example of why you do not ever give your personal or financial information to anyone, ever, unless it is vital for your survival. Far too much data gets stolen or breached as a direct result of people being lazy and giving their information to shitty platforms with leaks and security vulnerabilities. But that's not to say that anywhere is foolproof. Every single platform, everywhere, can be hacked and probably will be eventually. So understand that no matter who you give your financial and personal information to, you are taking a risk. But as somebody on the Discord said, security is about managing risk. And part of managing risk is not handing out all of your personal information just because somebody asked for it. So if you were breached, if you had your data stolen from the Discord leak, I am sorry that that happened to you, but at the same time, you have no one to blame but yourself. Because Discord has a history of leaks, it has a history of hacks, it has a history of security vulnerabilities. And if, knowing that, you have chosen to give them all of this information anyway, you have no one to blame but yourself if that information got stolen. Because I would not trust Discord with any piece of my information. I guarantee you every single piece of information that I have fed into Discord is bullshit. I have not given them any true information about myself and I never intend to. And if the day comes where they force me to provide identification or something like that, like they're trying to do in the UK, you will never see me on Discord again because I don't trust them as far as I can throw their overweight CEO. But that's just my 2 cents. So right now, at least in the United States, they're not forcing us to provide any kind of identification to Discord, so I'll continue to use it. But if they ever try, I'm done. I am absolutely done. You do not need my name, my address, my locale, my phone number, my face, my money, or anything else in order for me to use your message board with extra steps app. I use it because it's convenient and because it's the thing that people do. I don't use it because I enjoy it. I use it because it's a good centralizer. But anyway, chat, in more positive news, yes, I know the world and the United States specifically is circling the drain, but that is okay because today we don't live in the United States. Today we live on the Argo. That is the thankies out of the way, and here we are back in the Argo, back over the world of, I don't remember what hold on, it is Nashor in the St. Ives Compact, where I believe we spent most of this stream last time around, but as you may see, we have the Warhawk here on the queue. For those that were not here at the end of last stream, on the final mission, we ended up in a fight with 2 opposing sides. I think it was Comstar or some Op4. I don't remember who. And they were fighting against Clan Wolf. And it was a bunch of assault mechs. Like, there was 80, 90, 100-ton mechs all over the place, including Sunder, also known as the Angiest mech. And we got lots of clan salvage, but the big deal is that we picked up a Warhawk. And yes, we did go with the Prime configuration that comes with 4 clan ERPPCs. So having gone back through and rewatched the VOD, because I said, again, as the company rules dictate, you keep what you kill. And even though it was a team effort to bring this Masakari down, it was in fact Vin that secured the kill. So I asked him on the Discord whether or not he wanted to upgrade. Currently, Vin has been using, let me see, the Shotgun Centurion. Where is that in here? It's in here somewhere. If I can find it. There we go. The Shotgun Centurion, we got an LBX-10 in there. We got some MRMs. I asked Vin if he wanted to upgrade to the Masakari. He said he did. He said that he did. So, the question, as I said on the Twitter machine, is, since this is going to be Masakari-chan's first debut, we got to make sure she dresses for the part. So, for the time being, I think we just use the clan ERPPCs, but that's going to have this thing running hot. I think we heresy the shit out of this thing, though, personally, but that's just me. Now, for those that are curious, the reason that it's currently being worked on is because the default Prime configuration has a missile pod on the left arm. I've taken that missile pod out of the arm and put it in the torso, just to spread out the weapon systems again. So that we're not concentrating all the weapon systems in the arms, which are going to be easily blown up. Crappy says, how much would 2 tons of armor get me if we switched my Gauss to the clan one we get? That's a great question, but I thought we had already armored up the Highlander all the way. We can look at it, though. We can definitely look at it. Because I think you're right. I think we did. Oh, no, we did not pick up a clan Gauss rifle. We picked up a clan Hag. The only problem is we don't have any ammo for it. So, unfortunately, we could not, in fact, do an upgrade for you. At least not right now. At least not right now. but someday. But anyway, chat, there was some discussion last time around about potentially continuing our trek north out of St. Ives and into, well, closer to clan space. With that being said, I think we can check the command center real quick and see if there's any other missions worth taking before we leave. Let's see. We've got a 2-skull blackout working for St. Ives. We've got a 3-skull recovery working for local forces. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not terribly fond of either of those mission types. But let's see who we're fighting against for St. Ives. One of our bio-research stations has gone dark. We're not sure, but Shensei Tian affiliated groups have been asking about purchasing some specific supplies we also use in that system. I mean, yeah. Do we just do it? Because it's 419 on salvage. $419 on salvage is nothing to sneeze at, especially if we get decent mechs on the field. Just depends. And Kajibo with another 1,000 Bezos bucks saying invade the Chaos March and kill everyone. I disagree. The Chaos March is good for business. I don't want to kill everyone. If we kill everyone, then no more business. Takes about a year to get to the clan occupation zones. Oh, I know. I'm fully aware it's going to take a while to get there. But if we never leave, if we never get out of the periphery, we're never going to make it there. But thankfully, we can take missions without any time passing. Time only passes if we have to repair stuff. Oh, and my bad. I also missed, apparently, some other stuff here. Man, yo, fucking hitting me with all this stuff when we were doing the strong bad and I missed out on it. So hold on a second. Let me see. I gotta thank Avelion for 5 gifted subs. Einhander 2K6. Always good to see you on a Sunday. Thanks for joining us for 10 gifted subs. Swiftdraw for another gifted sub, this time to Analog K38. And Kajibo for 100 Bezos bucks, saying Strong Bad was awesome. There was an old poker game with him as a player and GLaDOS as the dealer. I vaguely remember that. Vaguely. Is the game volume on? It is. We're just not in a place where there's any sound at the moment. I did, in fact, turn the game sound on. And then Kajibo with another 100 Bezos, but saying if we kill everyone, we'll have all their stuff and money. Yeah, but it's not recurring business. It's not recurring business. I tell you what, chat. Let's just get on the road. As much as I would like to stick around and fight for St. Ives, the sooner we get on the road, the sooner we can run into new enemies, new salvage. So let's just go ahead and start moving north. Let me see. I want to try to find something that's within 1 jump. So that's about how far we can go. Actually, just looking right here, this... Oh, well, never mind. It's a 1-skull world. That's butt cheeks. Let's try this. Who has a black market? All right, we got a Steiner world over here. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's Sarna Supremacy. But that's 3.5 skulls with a black market. Large population, manufacturing, 20 days. Chad, do we take our chances on a 3.5 skull world? Travel contract? Well, let's see. If we take the travel contract, it's 2.5 skulls, but it's not... I mean, it's a rich planet, but otherwise it's not a great planet. The benefit, of course, being that they will pay for the travel so we don't have to. Although, to be fair, 180K when we've got 3.2 million is not really that big a deal. Like, the travel cost is not going to hurt us that much. And we don't have any other contracts further north than that. Nice to be paid to travel. That's true. That's true. Do it after grabbing another pilot? I mean, we did pick up an extra pilot last time around. We actually picked up 2. So we got Arcos as a vehicle pilot, but then we also grabbed, let me see. Oh, no, maybe not. Maybe not. I thought we grabbed another pilot, but maybe it was just Arcos. Yeah. And Swiftdraw gifting a sub this time to Vergant. Mr. Hard G himself. Thank you, Swiftdraw, for the sub. And Vergant, welcome back into the cult of bad tactical decisions. I'm just gonna do it, chat. I'm just gonna do it. We're just doing it. We're doing it. I'm gonna take the travel contract just because it's a little bit of money that we don't have to spend. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Wait, hold on. If we're gonna travel for the contract, what are we traveling for? Because if the mission type sucks, I don't want to do it. Let's see. It just says travel only. It doesn't tell us much about it. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know. Oh. Okay, so this is travel to a flashpoint. Or this is travel to a flare-up. So if we do this, we're going to be stuck in a series of missions instead of just a single mission, which I'm okay with. We have a lot of mechs, we have a lot of pilots. So to Erst's point, it might not be a bad idea to pick up another pilot before we go. Let's see who's available in the hiring hall. Let's see. I mean, we got plenty of mech pilots. I would say Trucker's probably going to be the best buy just because he's already got a lot of 4s. And that'll mean less training that we have to do for him. He's also a male from the Canopians, so he's probably happy to get away from the periphery. Let's do it. We're doing it. It's too late. He's been hired. So let's get to the barracks real quick. Let's see. Trucker. And who is our name on the lists? I see. Let's go over to the donkey roster. And let's see. Serini is the next name on the list. So there we go. Welcome back, Serini, who I think was in the previous campaign as well. But they're already almost to their first skill across the board, which is excellent. And now that we've done that, let's get underway. Let's get underway, chat. Now, one thing to do, chat. Because we're going to be traveling anyway, we might as well do a rebuild on the Masakari. Now again, this is an Omni-Mech and BTA, so the internals are going to be fairly limited. However, we have other options. Vin is the Jack, Erst. Which means we'll have a Centurion up for grabs as a hand-me-down. Which we might put Serini in since they just joined the company. Let me see. What do we have? I mean, we got a Rack 2, a Rack 5. We don't have that much in the way of clan tech. But I like ballistics. At the same time, if we look at our mech bay, I mean, we could build it very similar to the Centurion that they're currently running, because they already have the clan LRM-10, which would be a good substitute for the MRMs, and then maybe we could just put in LBX-10s in the arms and turn it into a shotgun blaster. Alternately, we don't really have a dedicated missile boat at the moment. Like, we have the Treb, but it's an MRM boat, so we could potentially cram a bunch of missiles into the Masakari. Because we got ballistics, we got some ballistics, we got a lot of laser boats. So putting more stuff into missiles I don't think is the worst idea. And Swiftdraw gifted another sub, this time to Ratnax. Thank you, Swiftdraw, for yet another gifted sub. And Ratnax, thank you. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you, Swiftdraw, for the sub. Ratnax, welcome back into the cult of bad tactical decisions. I trust you know. I trust you know where the Ecto Cooler is by now. Oh yeah, no. I apologize, Erst. I didn't even realize he had put up a poll. I kind of just made the decision. Shotguns have more range than regular ACs. Yeah, I mean, I call it a shotgun, but it's just cluster ammunition for an LBX-10. Have we fired a shot yet? Absolutely not, Silent God damn it. Silent Walrus. Words. They're hard, chat. I don't know why that tripped me up specifically. Let's see. If we pulled out the clan ERPPCs, and don't worry, if I will absolutely be replacing these with something else. But we have some LBX-10s. We have 4 of them, as a matter of fact. So if I put in 2, that's gonna eat up most of our weight. But I could drop some of the double heat sinks, because with autocannons, we're not gonna need them. This thing sinks a lot of heat because normally it has a bunch of PPCs. There are some of these that we can't take out, but that's okay. We can just try to use it as best we can. Were you drinking before streaming? Listen, buddy, I may or may not have gone to a cafe that has a buffet with catfish and salad and fried okra and cornbread, and I may or may not have decided that I needed a couple of beers to go with it, but I'm not drunk because I would never drink and drive. Boss didn't accept the travel contract and sent us traveling space. No, we did in fact accept the contract. It's just, as is typical, I want to make sure that we're doing work so that we're not wasting the time as we travel. So we can do 2 LBX-10s. We got a clan. Oh, chat, didn't we have an LRM? Oh, we do. Chat, we have a clan LRM-20. We picked this up from that other clan, that other mission that we did very, very early in the campaign. It was one of the few pieces of clan tech that we picked up. So with this, we could then go ammo. And I think all we have is cluster ammo for the LBX-10. So then we go ammo, 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 ammo. And then maybe drop half a ton of armor? And Mega says, significant other has a joke for you. What do you call a lesbian's girlfriend who's in a wheelchair? Mia's on wheels. Megas, you're fired. You are fired. Get the fuck out of here. No, I'm not being serious. But you know how I feel. You know how I feel about puns. I've said my piece. And Swift God damn it, Swiftdraw. Gifted another sub. This time to want what? Listen, I don't know if it's wondering or if it's wanding. You'll have to tell me how to pronounce it. My brain wants to call you wondering, but I don't list. You people and your internet names. Can we airlock him? I mean, get the hazmat suits first. Yeah, no, I can parse the numbers, Urs. That's not the problem. The issue is, how do I pronounce that? Is it Wanding? Is it Wanding? I don't know. I need phonetics. Here. Urs. Yeah? Do we have other mechs that can field the ERPPCs? We absolutely do. Absolutely do. And Swiftdraw with another gift sub, this time to Lycanthotep. Thanks, Swiftdraw, for yet another gifted sub. And Lycan, welcome back into the cult. We got Kajibo with 100 B's us, Buck saying, Megas, what's worse? What's worse than an NTS in your pants? Wait, what? A 100 bits in your pants? What? You know what? I'm not sure. You guys. Y'all are in rare form. I am in rare form today as well. What is my main gun? I don't remember. I couldn't tell you. Put them under the rifleman. We could indeed put the ERPPCs on a rifleman. Just for extra heresy. Yeah? Just for extra heresy. God damn it. Can I play the game? Can I live my life, chat? Jesus Christ. Dark Maze. Gifting a sub to Words Are Hard, bro. First of all, you and I both know that person isn't in the chat. Second of all, here you fucking donkeys go with your trying to say messages by subbing random people. And third of all, fuck you, Dark Nays, but thank you as well. Anyway, good lord. Alright, how about this? So this is 10 rounds of ammunition. This gives us 20 rounds of shooting with double LBXs. And we've got the LRM-20. But this, if I remember right, it automatically... Oh no, it's compatible with an Artemis. Is it worth it to do an Artemis control system on this thing? Because it's 1 ton. Yeah, okay, thank you, Battletech. Nah, because that's just going to put us even more over. So here's what we do. We do this. And then we just drop a little bit more armor, I think. Drop a half a ton of armor. And then that'll get us where we need to be. So I'm just gonna little pips here and there until we get down to where we need to be. Little bit more off the legs. There we go. There we go. Motherfucker. And Swiftdraw gifted another sub. This time to Bacon Wrath. I approve of the name. Absolutely approve. But thank you, Swiftdraw, for another gifted sub. And Bacon Wrath, welcome into the cult of bad tactical decisions. Where we have only one flavor of Kool-Aid, but it is Ecto Cooler. Alright, so, chat, are we good with this? Are we happy with this design? I mean, it's only going to take a day, so, like, it's not that big a deal. But we have essentially turned this thing into an upgraded version of the Centurion that Vin is already using. So he's basically using a Centurion that has MRMs and LBX-10. We're now giving him more LBX-10 and upgrading the MRMs to LRMs. But because it's a clan LRM, it doesn't have a minimum range. So technically it's just like an MRM that does a little less damage. And of course we still have the precision computer, which will allow him to fire cover and guarded. So this is really only going to take precedent when we're using the LRMs. Maybe it's not even worth it. Maybe it's not worth it. Because it's only when we fire a single weapon. And if I take this out, then we can basically fill this thing up. We can max out the armor. Omni for the quick turnaround? Yeah. I think I like this jet. I think we're gonna go with it. Let's do it. That's what she said. Yeah, we could put in more LRM ammo as well. That's an option. But it'll only take a day. In the meantime, is there any other work that we were meaning to do? I mean, we got the Thor, but I don't think we ever picked up a weapon system for it. Yeah, we never did. Oh, no, we did. We picked up the Thumper Artillery. So we can put the Thumper Artillery in there. Do we have any ammo for it, though? I don't think that we do. We got Thumper Fast Cam. Oh, we do. We have ammo for the Thumper and the Thumper. We don't have the Seismic, but I could just put in another ton of Fast Cam for now, just to finish out the design. And then if we get other ammo later, we could swap it out. And then this will give us an artillery vehicle. So this would actually be really good on missions where we're like destroying a base or something. Because the artillery is, I mean, we have to wait a turn, but when we're firing against something like buildings that are going to be stationary, it's not going to, it'll be useful. So let's go ahead and get that done. That'll get the Thor finally on side, and we'll be able to do something with it. And then let's see. Was there any other? Oh, right, the rifleman. We wanted to see if we could put the ERPPCs inside the rifleman. So let's take out these lasers, those lasers. We'll take out now. Leave the core. Take out the ammo. We'll take out the extra heat sink. And then give me clan ERPPC. Clan ERPPC. Oh no, chat. What are you complaining about? This Meg does not yet. No, I get that. Good lord. There. Are you happy now? Think you're gonna need. No, we're gonna need a lot more than just one. We are gonna need a lot more than just one. I'm hoping that we have a double heatsink kit in here somewhere. Because we have double heat sinks. Oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. We do have a double heatsink kit. Because we're definitely going to need it if we're cramming this thing full of ERPPCs. Let me see. Can I... Oh, no, it's only got one weapon hardpoint. Well, dicks. Do we put the AC5s back? Nah, that's going to be too heavy. It's going to be too heavy. We could put them in the torso, but... Let's see. What do we got? What do we got? We don't have any insulators or anything. I was hoping we would. Maybe we put the large lasers in the torso as backup? So our heat efficiency is going to be through the roof. 78 fucking heat. Good lord. But upgrading to the double heat sink kit would help with that. The only problem is we're still massively over on an alpha strike. Max the armor first. All right, let's do that. Pull out the large lasers. That was not what I meant to do. So we're definitely going to keep the double heat sinks. Shove another double heat sink in there just so we've got all of them that we need. Or maybe this is where we use the e-cooler. You're going to complain because... Okay. Can I not? I can't use an e-cool with this? That's the insinuation? Engine too small. Ah, you're right. You are correct. You are, in fact, correct. I mean, the only thing that we're gonna have that's gonna be lighter than an AC5, though, is either gonna be a light AC5 or an AC2. Is that really worth it? Is it worth, well, do we have any LBX2 ammo? Because we have 2 LBX2s. Do we have any ammo for them? We do not, in fact. We do have some HVAC, though. Is that worth it? Yeah, that's way too heavy. That's 7 tons. Mech Bay Heresy. Indeed, it is in fact Mech Bay Heresy. I mean, of course, the other, yeah, heat mitigation is going to be our issue on this. But then that immediately, like, the next question immediately becomes, is a 60-ton mech really worth it just to field 2 ERPPCs? Because I feel like this is a waste of a 60-ton platform. And we're not really gaining anything by it. What's an LBX2? A sandblaster? Yeah, basically. Yeah, this is kind of meh. Like, for the weight that we're putting into it, we're not really getting anything on it. We're not really getting a return on the investment. Yeah, you can fit 2 regular PPCs on a Blackjack at 45. 4 AC2s. I mean, we could try that as well. We'll pull the double heat sink kit for now. Yeah, if we went with regular AC2s, we can't even do that. It's too heavy. I mean, we can reduce the armor, of course, but... I'm not gonna lie, chat. I think large laser boat is the answer? Is large laser boat the answer? What's our alpha look like? 36 heat? I mean, we can put the double heat sink kit back into it. That'll give us more heat management. So now we're at 18. We have to put another double in it anyway, so that balances us out, and that puts us at 12 heat. So... But then again, we're just rebuilding the Lancelot. This is the Lancelot. We literally already have this mech. except better because it's a Royal Lancelot. So it has better cooling. Oh, see, I think I like the way that Ratnox is thinking. Yeah. We could go Ultimate Heresy on the Rifleman. But then again, like Erst says, the default config is not bad. The only real failing of this design is it doesn't have a lot of ammo. It's only got 30 rounds of shooting. I'm sorry, 15 rounds of shooting. But that's okay. And then it has basically no armor. Dual AC-20. Oh my god. Is that... How much does an AC-20 weigh? I don't think that's possible. 14 tons. If we remove all the weapon systems, I don't think we have enough room to put 2 AC-20s in this thing. I mean, we do, but barely. Okay, hold on. Hold on, chat. Remember, we're gonna have time. We're gonna have time to work on it. And if we're using AC-20s... Yeah, I know no armor. Give me a second. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Give me a 300, because it's an AC-20. 5.7. Hold on. Hold on. This is the inspiration I needed. Now we're getting into the real heresy. Now we're getting into the real heresy. All right, hold on, hold on, hold on. If we go 240, that puts us right at the limit. We still gotta drop some weight for the ammo, though. So how do we reduce weight? Heat's not gonna be an issue, so we don't need the double heatsink kit. Discount King Crab? Nah, not even discount King Crab. I'm trying to think of how we make this work. We don't have an XL gyro, I don't think. Do we? I have a gyro Mark 95, but that adds weight instead of removing it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, look, chat, I hate to say it. I think the OG design is fine. We just gotta modify it a little bit to give ourselves some armor. That's really all we need. So if I throw in Pharaoh, because we're not using up that tonnage anyway, drop the mediums because we're getting plenty of firepower from the AC-5 and the large lasers. That gives us 2.5 tons to play with. If I max the armor, we're gonna be way over though. Let me see. What else could I do? So the large laser is 5. Chat, I'm brainstorming. I'm thinking about blazers. Gunnery LACs. I do, but light AC-5s are kind of... Like, they do less damage and they have more recoil. So, like, they can be useful in certain situations. I mean, for those of you that recall, we had a hunchback with 2 blazers in it, and it exploded. And Savage Sig repriming for a second month saying, did somebody say heresy? Well, I haven't officially said it, but we're definitely deep into the heretical woods at this point. How much to use in damage and range? I mean, if we were gonna go that route, do we even have ER mediums? We have some Inner Sphere ER mediums. 25 damage versus 40. Max range is 600 versus 480. So we're losing about 40%, roughly. And ammo is still... Okay, hold on. Hold on. Do this. Do this. Do this. ER medium. ER medium. ER medium. And ER medium. Now I said ER medium. ER medium. Fucko. Alright. Then we go back and we say, I want all for AC 10. Or I want Gauss. Do we make it lopsided? Oh no. No, we make it asymmetrical. We go for the real heresy. Hold on, chat. I feel like this is the stupidest thing ever. That said, you're looking at 75 damage from the clan ERPPC, and you're looking at potentially 75 damage from the Gauss. The Gauss is at 900 meters. The ERPPC is at 720. We've only got 1.5 tons. Even with Pharaoh, which doesn't leave us a lot of ammunition. So, like, I could put 2 bins of ammo at 16 rounds of shooting with the Gauss rifle. I just feel like only having 2 weapon systems on a 60-ton mech is just eh. It sucks. I don't like it. It feels wrong. Like, I know it's fine, but it feels wrong. It's not a brawler. I mean, that's true. It really isn't meant to be on the front lines. You can fit 2 Gauss. Don't play with me. Don't play games with my heart. Double Gauss rifle. And then I guess we just, I mean, if we lose... What, can I... Okay. Like, it just doesn't, I don't like it. All right, we just got to lose 1 more ton. I'm so close. We're so close. I made it work. It skips leg day. I mean, again, this mech is gonna be as far back as we can get it. And the idea is we would be screening it with terrain. This a new VTOL monkey. I mean, you don't need legs if you're flying around on a VTOL. You don't need heat sinks. No, I know we don't need heat sinks, but we have to have 10 heat sinks. So, like, that one heat sink is not costing us any weight. Why not mortars? Oh, chat. Is this our new mortar platform? Because I could pull the mortars off of the awesome and put them in this thing. The only problem with this design is, again, we already have very little armor, and like, we have more armor than standard, but we still have very little armor, and we've only got 8 rounds of shooting. So if we were gonna do that, we could just... So we take, like, the standard design, right? Because it has almost no armor anyway. So we take the standard design, we pull all this out, we put mortars in it because they're indirect fire, right? So the indirect fire means that we can terrain screen. So we don't have to worry about this thing getting hit because it's not going to be visible. We can just screen and then have this guy chuck mortars from behind the line. Essentially, support mech. Why not go Energy Man? I mean, we could, but with, like, the reason that I didn't go with the large lasers is because we already have a 60-ton large laser boat in the Lancelot, and it's just 4 large lasers. And the Lancelot is better because it's the Royal Lancelot, so it gets cooling bonuses. So it's just, like, it's better at being a large laser boat than this rifleman could be. Gauss ERPPC. I mean, we could do the lopsided, the Gauss, the ERPPC. It just, I don't know. It doesn't feel right. We already looked at that. I mean, it's not a bad design. It says it feels weak for a 60-ton. ERPPC and a Lancelot. We could do that. We could turn the rifleman into the large laser boat, put the ERPPCs in the Lancelot. Because the Lancelot's going to have better cooling, so that might make more sense. Eh. Alright, here's what we'll do. We'll see if we can do this with the Lancelot. If we can put the ERPPCs in the Lancelot, then I'm willing to try it. Let me see. Where are my clan ERPPCs? Yes, I know we're going to be overweight, and that's okay. Because then we can pull the tag. That'll give us a ton back. Our heat management is definitely going to suffer. Right now we got ER larges, which are doing 45, versus the ER PPCs, which are doing 75. So we're losing a little bit of damage potential, but I'm okay with that. What's our heat sitting at? 55 over. That's rough. That is rough. Yeah, that's not going to work as well as I thought it was. Well, that's butt cheeks. I mean, we could make it work, but again, at 55 over, what is our heat sinking? We are sinking 96 per turn. And if we only fired the PPCs, we're generating 96. So essentially with this design, we would be doing nothing but firing the ER PPCs, and we'd be heat neutral. But we're still losing potential damage if we remove the large lasers. Let's consider this. Large lasers out. That gives us 9 tons. So that's going to put us at roughly the same, but we have 3 more heat sink slots. So can I up the E-cooler? Probably not. No, it's got to be a 1. So we do a 1. And then we say, I want a double heatsink here and a double heatsink here. Damn, that's still 41. Yeah, the ER larges are more damage. So we got 90 times 2 would be 180 versus 75 times 3, which is 150 plus 75. So the damage potential here is higher, but we're not going to be able to fire every turn, which if we go with the large laser design that we're using currently, we're almost heat neutral. So even though we lose a little damage potential, this is able to fire more consistently. Whereas if we went with the PPCs, we get more potential alpha damage, but we have to turn off one of those PPCs every once in a while, which then lowers the overall damage that we're putting on target. So I think the large laser is fine, and as much as I hate to say it, I think we just use the rifleman as is. Like it's not a terrible design. As much as I want to heresy the shit out of it, like it's not a terrible design. The only thing that I would do is probably pull these medium lasers so that we can put another bin or 2 of ammo. Like 15 rounds of shooting, in my opinion, is still acceptable. But the medium lasers are not really going to see any use because the mech's going to be in the back line. No, the ammo goes in the feet. We already know this. That's just what the computer did. So maybe with these 2 tons, we put it in the armor instead. And just for funsies, if I put in Pharaoh, that gives us almost another ton. So then let's see. We bring up the armor just a little bit. We got 75s all around. Let's bring this up. And again, rear armor doesn't need to be that high because we shouldn't be in a situation where the enemy is shooting us in the back. So we've increased our armor a little bit. Let's do this. And then just so we have it, because right now we have 15 bins of ammo, which seems good, but we have other types of ammo as well. Let me see. Contains 30 ammunition. Increased damage by 2 per shot and 2 delta structure. It's less accuracy and more heat generated. Okay, so this is going to double our heat output. What's our heat output sitting at now? 8? Is it worth it for heap? I feel like it's worth it for heap ammo. Because we don't get damage reduction, plus we do additional damage to structure. The only problem is going to be the heat mitigation if we do that. Okay, here's what we do. Here's what we do, chat. We're going to use the heap ammo as our extra ammo, but we're going to need to alternate back and forth, because remember that the key component here with the heap ammo is it doubles our heat generation. So we can fire heap, we just can't fire it every turn. So we could like 1, maybe 2 rounds of heap to do internal damage, and then switch back to the regular ammo. So we'll just have to remember to switch back and forth between the ammo types as we go. But I think this isn't a terrible idea. Let's put a little more armor on the arms. And you don't like that, so... we'll shave a little armor off the legs just to get it underweight. So there we go. How do we feel about this, chat? We've basically taken the base design, which isn't bad. Like, the base design is fine. We've upped the armor. We've given it a little more ammo. So it's got durability. But now we've also got heap ammo, so we've got a little more versatility on the platform. Any battle comp? That was way too much. Most battle computers are like 2 to 5 tons. So it's not really worth it unless you're putting it on like a heavier an assault with like 1 weapon system. Double heatsink kit? I mean, we could double heatsink. It's not a terrible idea. If we put in the double heatsink kit, oh, eat my ass. If we put in the double heatsink kit, that puts us at a positive. So then we put in 1 more double heatsink, and then maybe we switch off of regular AC5 ammo entirely? Spieler Gem, the heap ammo does a little bit of extra damage, plus it also does damage to structure, but it has more recoil, and it generates twice as much heat. So you're gaining a little bonus damage, but you're generating more heat, and it's a little less accurate. So right now we're heat neutral, and that's before we fire the heap. This isn't terrible, because remember, we still got large lasers. I'll tell you what we could do. No, I don't. I want eat gut. If we upgrade these, we're increasing our range and our damage. We're also increasing our heat generation a little bit. But as long as we're careful with heat management, that's not a bad thing. Shmina says, I'm just getting in the hobby outside of MechWarrior 5. I mean, I'll say this much. BTA is not an accurate rendition of tabletop any more than MechWarrior is. But Battletech in and of itself is a lot of fun. I have been a fan of Battletech since I was a kid. So, yeah, I'm all for it. And I'm always glad to welcome new folks into the franchise. So, glad that you're joining us here on the stream, first of all, as a first-time chatter, but I'm also glad that you're getting into Battletech as well, because it's a hell of a setting, and I'm always happy to see more people getting into Battletech. Yeah. God damn it. And Dark Days, gifting a sub to Spieler. Thank you, Dark Days, for the gifted sub. And Spieler Gem, welcome into the cult of bad tactical decisions, where we have only one flavor of Kool-Aid, but it is Ecto Cooler, and we're always glad to welcome new donkeys into the cult of bad tactical decisions. I'm gonna do it. Chat, we're doing it. It's too late. It's done. Let's see. Any other work we want to do? I kind of want to work on the awesome a little bit, but it's also been 2 fucking hours and we haven't done admission yet. I wanna do it. I wanna do it though. Now, chat, we gotta go. Yeah? We gotta do a mission. We gotta do a mission. I promised y'all stompy robots, and not a single stomp has been heard or felt. We're on the move. We are on the move, Chad. Also, why? I just noticed, for some stupid reason, even though I have the game audio unmuted, you guys are not getting game audio. There we go. I just had to mute it and unmute it. What Warmhawk config? So originally it's the Prime config. I don't remember what we did to it though. Battletech. Okay, there we go. What did I do to the Warhawk again? I know we did something to it. Oh, that's right. So we basically put LBXs in it and upgraded the LRM-10 to an LRM-20. So it is essentially the same as the Centurion that the pilot getting into it is using currently with an LBX-10 and some MRMs. It's just upgraded. That's all. Yeah, we put 2 LBX-10s in it. And took out the clan ERPPCs. Melee in the mech bay. You're speaking to Yang in the mech bay when the yelling starts. Across the bay, a pair of your mech warriors face off in front of a battle mech. You get there just as Ven pulls back to throw a punch at Megas. Aw, man. Ven and Megas are not getting well. We have the training module, so I'm sending them to this training module to settle things in the simulators. You raise your voice and both mech warriors turn to you, Ven's fist relaxing. If you mech warriors have a dispute, go settle in the battle pods. Frankly, you both need the practice. The mech warriors grumble and wander off. You hear later from Yang that the sim battle between Ven and Megas drew a huge crowd. Those warriors both treated their sim battle like a real war, boss, and by the end of it, I think they kind of forgot what they were fighting about. They both gained 100 experience, which is basically nothing. But I guess that's as happy an ending as we're gonna get. Personally, I would have sold tickets. But that's just me.